The Democratic Alliance is heading there to challenge the constitutionality of the Employment Equity Amendment Act. In that particular piece of legislation gives the Minister of Labour unfettered powers when it comes to deciding on who gets to be employed and where. Help us break down what this particular section is actually saying and whether or not you reckon the DA is onto something in their contesting it.
Apartheid had affected access to opportunities for many South Africans. The government created the Employment Equity Act to allow more opportunities. But they're saying progress is happening too slowly because private sector essentially set their own targets. So this contentious area right now is where the new piece of legislation allows the minister to set mandatory specific targets for the private sector. Now, the DA is pushing back on that. They're saying, look, they are in favor of transformation, but they believe that the solution is to actually create more jobs instead of trying to maneuver this through employment equity. So as Professor will also say, is it really a political issue? Is it a legal issue? The courts will have to walk this tight line now. How do they manage the situation? There is a case which happened in May 2024, Arasmus versus ESCOM. A white male was not shortlisted for a position at ESCOM. He took it up to the Labour Court. And the court indicated at the time that the practice of not shortlisting a white male amounted to an absolute barrier, and that was unfair against the Employment Equity Act. I personally think it is a healthy discussion to have. It is a good sign of our democracy. I'm sure Professor agrees as well. These are the issues we need to talk about. When we look at the law, people think it's something in a textbook. That's not how it works. The law doesn't work in isolation. The law is meant to help society to function better. I do not envy the court's task today. They have a difficult job ahead of them. They have to listen to both sides, and the judges have to ask themselves this critical question. Are these specific targets, is it a form of unfair discrimination, or is it going to speed up transformation? And whatever the court's decision is going to be, I can tell you, Ayanda, it's going to affect almost every South African employee in terms of opportunities at work, who gets hired, who gets promoted.
Absolutely. All right, we'll have to see how it all goes, and it seems precedent setting in one way or the other, and of course an issue of national interest.